What's going on, guys? I'm your host from the East Coast, Gina Man 94, here to give you guys my WWE RAW review for October 17th, 2016. Now, I know it's 2 days later, but I didn't catch Raw live, so I had to watch it a day later, and I had to work yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to do the review. So today I'm going to do the review for you guys. I'll be doing my Smackdown live review later on today, so be on the lookout for that. So let's get into the review. Now, this episode of Raw, we saw the return of Goldberg. 12 years has been since he's been gone from the WWE, and he returned tonight. But that was the last thing that happened on Raw, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Because I got some more opinions on that. Because maybe I was a little bit too harsh on Goldberg, but I still don't think the match. We'll talk about it. But let's get into Raw. So we started off with a segment that featured Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. They came out, pretty much saying Foley has it out for them, and Jericho says it's not rewarding for having that match inside of a Hell in a Cell. He's talking about Owens and Rollins. It's a career ender, and it ended Mick Foley's career, and it's a travesty that Kevin Owens is even in the match. And Kevin Owens was agreeing with him. He said he won't let the match shorten his career, though. He's going to shorten Seth Rollins' career. He's pretty much end his career. Jericho was like, he should have been in that match as well. He's beating legends, and he's a 6-time world champion, and he knows he can beat Seth Rollins, and it was the ref who was bad at his job, and then he put the ref on the list. He even knew the ref's name. I forgot what the ref's name was, but he put him on the list for apparently screwing him out of his chance to be inside the Hell in a Cell. Of course, Owens said he's going to retire Seth at Hell in a Cell, and then Seth came out. Of course, pissed off, but he was in a joking mood. He made fun of Jericho's ring gear, and he called him Sparkle Crotch, and then the crowd just started chanting that during the segment and during their match that they had. He called him Sparkle Crotch. I've never heard that one before. That's a new one. That was pretty funny, though. And then he said, he should put his friendship with Kevin Owens on the list because for 2 weeks straight, he's let him get pedigreed. And I think they're building up to a match between Owens and Jericho, and it progressed a little bit more tonight. Owens started talking about, one of us has to stay strong while the other one eventually has to, take the fall for the team. It's for the good of the team. They're still best friends and, all that good stuff. And Rollins was like, yeah, you get to stay strong, and Jericho gets to take the bumps every week. He gets to be the one that takes the fall for the team while you get to shine. And then Jericho kind of looked at him like, hey, he's kind of right. But then he was like, not going to try to feed into what Seth was saying. He was like, he's a 6-time world champion, and there's a reason there's GOAT on the back of his trunks. Seth then proceeded to call him Sparkle Ass. And then they set up a match, and between Jericho and Rollins. And Rollins was like, that's fine, but what's Kevin Owens going to do? And Jericho preferred that Kevin Owens leaves. And Kevin was like, why would you want me to leave? I'm your best friend. I'm here to support you. And Jericho was like, he knows all the tricks. He's the world champion. And, then Jericho was like, I'm the 6-time world champion. It doesn't change the fact that you're my best friend, but I got to prove to Seth and to all these stupid idiots out here exactly who the hell I am. He just explained he got this. He don't need Kevin Owens. Not saying he doesn't want him to help him, but he's just proving it to himself, to the fans, and to Seth that he can still defeat these top guys. They hugged it out or whatever. And then we proceeded to have the match, which is Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho. The match was good, just like it was last week. Very intense physical type of match. Midway through the match, they were having a good match. And then Kevin Owens came back down to the ring against Jericho's wishes. He interfered in the match, and the ref caught him. The ref was scolding Jericho for it, and he got distracted, and Seth was able to turn Jericho around, hit the pedigree, and pick up the win. And Owens just had his look on his face like, ooh, maybe I should have stayed out of this match, but he pretty much cost Jericho the win here. Later on, they addressed the whole match, but after that, we got an interview. Lita sat down with both Charlotte and Sasha Banks ahead of their Hell in a Cell match in 2 weeks. So she sat down with Charlotte first. Charlotte was pretty much just saying she's a winner. She was born to do this. She's the best female and male athlete, wrestler, whatever, on the roster in the WWE. She says she's durable, and she's won 12 straight pay-per-views, and she's always 100%. When she steps in the ring, everybody knows that she's the woman. Sasha's going to need her hometown to cheer her on. She doesn't need anybody. Sasha's probably still hurt from SummerSlam. And she'll need her whole hometown to give her the strength she needs to beat Charlotte. But it won't be enough, and she'll become a 3-time women's champion. It was a nice little interview. Pretty much, they didn't have to do it on Raw, which I like that. They just, did the little sit-down interviews. They didn't overexpose him. And just building the match up even more. Golden Truth and Mark Henry versus the Shining Stars and Titus O'Neil. Golden Truth won and Mark Henry. That's it. No. So now Chris Jericho addressed, the whole match and everything. When he was backstage, he looked and he saw Owens. He went up to him. They started arguing. Jericho got so pissed that he almost called Owens a stupid idiot, but he caught himself. He was like, "I told you I had it. I told you I didn't need your help. I told you I didn't want you down there. And you came down anyway, and you cost me my match. You're a stupid idiot." Never mind. He almost called him a stupid idiot. Owens was like, "I'm not one of these stupid idiots from the crowd and, in the locker room. I'm supposed to be your best friend. How dare you?" And they started arguing back and forth. And then Stephanie McMahon came up and yelled at both of them, saying she needs them to get on the same page. Stop letting Seth Rollins dictate your friendship. And pretty much, we need you for the Survivor Series match that's coming up. My 2 captains. I need you guys to be on the same page, not arguing at each other. And yeah, so they pretty much accepted SmackDown's offer for the 3 different Survivor Series matches: the tag team, the women's, and then just the men's. New Day were coming out to the ring, and they had because their reign has reached day number 420. And they're in Denver. And if you guys don't know, marijuana is legal in Denver, so they just made the weed jokes. And I'm just like, wow, they're really pushing that boundary. But New Day, just when you think they can't be any more entertaining, they just pull something else out of the bag. So they came out. Big E was like, Sheamus must be a mile high if he thinks he's going to beat him, because he had a match with Sheamus. Xavier says the 2 presidential candidates are better tag teams to beat them than Cesaro and Sheamus are. And Kofi was like, they're going to defeat them, even though he messed a springboard up last week, he still beat Cesaro, so these guys have no chance. He was like, you guys saw me mess up that springboard. Like, he called himself out, because he botched the springboard last week. And he made it known, hey, I botched the springboard, but I still won the match, so these guys have no chance. And they pretty much just dogged out Sheamus. And then Big E faced him. It was a good match, though. Good big man match. Sheamus has been working a lot better lately, and I appreciate that. You had Cesaro trolling on Facebook Live how Sheamus was last week outside the ring. He was in the crowd, taking selfies with people. The match was competitive, though, and Sheamus was getting very aggravated at the fact that Cesaro was doing what he was doing last week. He wanted him to pay attention to the match more. Hopefully I see more of this feud, because there's just so many different angles that the feud is going in. It's different, it's fresh, and it's freaking entertaining. Cesaro and Sheamus is even showing some charisma here, and I didn't think that was ever possible, because I didn't really care about Sheamus, but this right here for Sheamus is fine. I have no problem with what's going on right now. You have a heel and the face trying to be a cohesive unit together, trying to take the tag team championships, and they just can't, for the life of them, get on the same page. So it's different. I appreciate that. It's definitely different. I'll give them credit where credit is due. But Sheamus got fed up with Cesaro being on Facebook Live, told him watch the best bro kick ever, focus on him. So, he turned his Facebook Live audience to Sheamus. Sheamus gets back into the ring and gets rolled up for the 3 count. Cesaro recorded it all live, too. He's just like, hey, what happened? You said the best bro kick ever, and then you lost. So that was freaking hilarious. I'm just I'm just waiting to see what's gonna happen with this whole thing, if they're ever gonna become. I think they could be a good tag team, to be honest. People have been crapping on it, but I think it's like one of them strange bedfellow things where you wouldn't expect these guys to be a tag team, and then once they come together and start clicking on all cylinders, they're gonna be dangerous. So we'll see what happens here. Next, we have Bo Dallas versus Neville, which WWE slipped this match in here because I wasn't paying attention until they said it. But these are two former NXT champions, and they had a great rivalry down in NXT, the early days of NXT, when they transitioned from FCW to NXT. The match didn't go long, but Bo Dallas, man, what the heck happened to him? He used to be smiley Bo, all the time, and now he's just very serious. Like, he's no longer smiling. There's no funny business about him. He's about that action. He knocked off Neville, and his biggest supporter, Curtis Axel, was happy for him, and then he turned on him. He just started destroying Curtis Axel. I'm like, dang, what the heck? I guess he's the only one that can believe in Bo. But I like this new attitude that Bo Dallas has. It kind of reminds me of Carmelo on Smackdown a little bit, with how they're trying to do whatever it is to get noticed. They changed their whole persona up. Just something like that. It's definitely good. I can't wait to see more things from him. This is the type of persona for Bo Dallas that would work in the Wyatt family. Just saying, maybe in the future it could happen. We had Dana Brooke versus Bayley. Dana attacked her last week after her match in her hometown. Killed off her gimmick. This match could have been way better. Dana messed up the dirty pin attempt that she used to beat Bayley. She was supposed to put her legs on the rope, and she just, for the life of her, cannot get these spots right in these matches. Like, she was supposed to do that for Charlotte a couple matches ago. Didn't do it. Like, she's just messing up. She really is. I don't know what's her deal. The match could have been way better though. It was okay. Paul Heyman via satellite, I guess, was just talking about the situation with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. Said it got out of control. The challenge was rhetorical, but Goldberg answered anyway, or he's going to answer, and he's going to come out and accept the challenge. And he wants him to think why Brock didn't challenge him face to face. It's because Brock doesn't think he's worthy of the sweat off of his ass. I'm just like, damn. Damn, that's disrespectful. That is disrespectful. He said it's a video game fantasy, so he wants him to show up and respectfully decline the challenge. And if he says yes, it's gonna piss Brock Lesnar off because he thinks 12 years later he can still defeat Brock. And 12 years ago at WrestleMania 20, I think it's 20, Brock Lesnar lost to Goldberg at that pitiful WrestleMania match. And he's, I guess, held a grudge since. And it's the one person he hasn't beat yet that he's faced. So I guess he's going to destroy him when they do have their next face-off, which is what I think is going to happen, but we'll see. I'm still not too very high on the match, but the nostalgic feel of Goldberg coming back was fine. I'll talk about it in a minute. We had Braun Strowman versus these three jobbers that coined themselves the Mile High Trio, and they actually had a decent promo for some jobbers, but then they got destroyed by the Braun Strowman. And he just dismantled these three guys. He was throwing them out the ring, over the top rope. He didn't give no fluffs at all. He destroyed them. Then he grabbed the mic and he says he's coming to the back right now because Mick Foley refuses to give him some real competition, and he wants some competition. So as he's heading to the back, Sami Zayn comes out.
What?
And, gets all up in his face, and then he throws him out the ring and walks away. So I was so confused because I'm just like, all right, give him some competition, and then you give Sami Zayn to Braun Strowman? How does that help Sami Zayn? He's gonna die. There is no way in hell that Sami Zayn is any type of competition for Braun Strowman. Sami Zayn is so directionless at this point. They just don't know what to do with him. They have no idea. And they're just going to feed him to Braun Strowman. Like, that's just going to make Strowman look strong. Oh boy, you beat up Sami Zayn. That's very impressive. Whatever, man. I don't know what they're doing here. Lana and Rusev can't come out. They say they have a message for Reigns. Because Reigns talks about his lineage, his bloodline sometimes. So Rusev came out, talked about his family, his mom, his dad, his cousins, his brother, even the family dog, and pretty much saying they've accomplished more than what Reigns' family has. And of course, Roman Reigns came out And he says when he talks about family, he's not talking about his bloodline. He's talking about the Roman Empire. And he got some cheers. And I'm just like, you guys can't pick and choose when you want to boo this guy. Like, you boo him when he comes out, and then he says, like, 2 things to just sway the crowd's opinion. And then you go back to booing him later. Like, I don't know. Pick one and stick with it. You can't cheer when he says something good. If you're gonna boo him, you guys are inconsistent with your booing. But yeah, he came out and said Rusev looked like the family dog. It doesn't matter who he calls in his family. Hell in a Cell, it's only those 2. And the only people he'll be able to call is the ambulance people. Lana slapped him. Rusev kicked him in the face. They had another brawl leading up to Rusev smacking Reigns with some steps and then putting him into the Accolade on said steel steps. Okay, this rivalry needs to end soon. Because I still don't... Is this about family now? Like, I don't know what this rivalry is even about. I'm so lost. The storyline telling in this feud has been non-existent. Now they're talking about families and comparing families. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing. What are you guys doing? I don't know. I hope this ends at Hell in a Cell. Karl Anderson versus Big Cass. I like Big Cass. I like Enzo. But I also like Karl Anderson and Luke Gallows. And it's to the point where just ship them back off to Japan, because WWE obviously has no investment in them at all. You build them up last week with a promo. Have them have a jobber entrance to R-Truth in his theme song. This one's for you. Like, you give them the jobber entrance and you let him come out and do that on television. You have them have a competitive match with Golden Truth, and now you have Big Cass beat him in less than 2 minutes. He faced Karl Anderson and beat him in less than 2 minutes. What are we doing here? This is the club. These guys are legit. These guys are worshipped in Japan, and we're just wasting their talent. What's the point? Just send them back. Just send them back. TJ Perkins backstage, approaching Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak, I think. He pretty much peeped that they're trying to injure TJ before the pay-per-view, so that when Brian Kendrick apparently wins the championship, he'll give them a shot at it for weakening TJP. He said he already knows the game, and he says he has some backup as well, which is Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. So they had a match later on. It was a 6-man tag match. I'll talk about it in a second. But first, we had Sasha Banks' interview with Lita. She says she's ready ever since NXT. It's crazy how far her and Charlotte have come. They're making history, but she's going to show why she's the best, why she's the boss. She's proud to be a part of history. She says her back is feeling great from SummerSlam and it's better than ever. She's not afraid of the Hell in a Cell, and she's ready to get in there and do what she does best. Show why she's the boss and retain her championship to pretty much put Charlotte out of the title picture. Then we had that 6-man tag match I was telling you about with the Cruiserweights. Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, Drew Gulak versus TJP, Cedric Alexander, and Rich Swann. They got a little more time this week, which I appreciated. They definitely got a little bit more time, and they were able to work a little bit more and do more stuff. I thought it was a great match. They were able to wow the crowd and show how their moveset is different from the regular guys. How agile they are, how athletic they are, how powerful they are, even at their size. So I thought that was good. I really like Tony Nese, though. This man is really the hybrid athlete. Like, he's quick, and then he's powerful as well. He's just able to do it all. I think him and Neville would have a good rivalry if they put Neville in the Cruiserweight division and stop playing. But yeah, they did good in this match. Kendrick made Rich Swann tap out with the Captain's Hook submission. TJP tried to break it up, but on the outside, I think it was Drew Gulak who was holding his leg, so he couldn't get inside the ring. And yeah, that was that for that match. Had a weird segment in the backstage area with Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon. They were talking about, Survivor Series and how they accepted SmackDown Live Challenge, and they're going to clean sweep them because their roster is better. And then they talk about the main event for next week's Raw, which is Jericho versus Owens versus Seth Rollins. And they were just like giddy as hell. Like they were just so happy that they're doing great things. I guess they're talking about the Foley and McMahon connection, like the Rock and Sock connection, and they high-fived, and Stephanie had this look on her face like it was back in the 90s, and she was just admiring Mick Foley. I'm just like, what the hell are you guys doing? What are you doing? But I don't know. They were happy. They were on. They probably had a little bit of that Mile High good, if you know what I'm saying. So next and finally, we had Goldberg return to the WWE. Now, I've been saying it, all review. Maybe I was a little too harsh on Goldberg. Okay, I actually did like Goldberg, back in the WCW days, even when he came to the WWE, feuding with The Rock and all of that good stuff. But I'm not too keen on the match. And I think it's Brock Lesnar's fault, because it's to the point where I don't care about any of his matches. I don't care who it's with, even with somebody like a Goldberg. And I still think Goldberg's maybe just a smidget too old for this match to be what it should have been at WrestleMania. But Goldberg, he had his vintage entrance. He had the superstars in the back, while he was walking down the pathway on both sides. He had management and everybody just, watching him walk to the ring. New Day marking out, Enzo and Cass going crazy. They had women there. It was great. They gave him his old WCW theme as he was walking to the ring. They gave him his old pyro. The ovation for Goldberg was crazy. He came out and was obviously not prepared for the ovation that he got. Like, he came out, he got the Goldberg chants. It was incredible. The crowd showed him a lot of love. It was kind of like how Philly showed Shane McMahon love when he returned. It was kind of like that, but maybe a little bit more. And that was a great ovation that Shane got. But he was welcomed back with open arms. I think he had legit tears rolling down his face, mixed with sweat. He was overwhelmed. And I think it really caught him off guard. He was just, going around the ring, pandering to the crowd a little bit. He was like, it's been 12 years, you guys still haven't forgotten. And they just kept chanting for him and all this great stuff. He looked at his son and his wife and was like, yeah, we're here. You see this? He was going crazy. Like, it obviously shocked him that people gave him that big of an ovation. I'm surprised he didn't see it coming, but maybe he did, but that was just a great ovation. He eventually settled down and started talking about, what he's been doing in his absence and how bad he wanted to get back. He said it's been 12 years and he's missed not only kicking ass, but being a superhero to the kids, being a role model, seeing their face light up when they meet him, and going all around the world and seeing all the different, kids. He's for the kids. I like that. He said he created drama while he was promoting WWE 2K17, said he would give Brock his rematch, but he didn't think it was, going to be taken seriously. He didn't think he was going to be able to come back until he was challenged by not Brock Lesnar, but by Brock Lesnar through Paul Heyman. He said Brock Lesnar didn't have the balls to do it, so he had Heyman do it for him. And he says he has one more match left, one more spear left, and maybe one more jackhammer. And then he tells Brock that he's next and last. So if and when, because it's going to happen, they have their final match, it will be Goldberg's last match. And he made that pretty clear. But I got chills. I can't even lie. I did get chills. I got goosebumps when he walked out, when he did the whole entrance. Man, it was crazy. He still looks like he's in pretty good shape, but, the gray beard, I don't know how old he really is, but, I don't know, man. And just the fact that I know they're going to have Brock go over in the match it's killing it for me. I want to have that, undecisive, I want to have that feeling that I don't know who's going to win the match. That's what I want. I would love to have that feeling that, this match could go either way. And these two guys could tear each other apart like they should have. But it's not going to be like that. Brock is too lazy to do something like that. He's just going to want to suplex him 10 times, F5, and get up out of there. Cash that paycheck and go back to wherever he was. So, Brock will be responding next week on Monday Night Raw. Actually, it'll be Brock Lesnar standing there, jumping around, and making faces while Paul Heyman responds. So they should have just clarified that, but it'll be alright. Raw was okay. I think the Goldberg thing made it not terrible because it was something to look forward to at the end of Raw. So I know the ratings are up. I know the ratings went up because Goldberg came back. The whole social media blew up when he came out and made his entrance, and just the nostalgia of him coming back. It's been 12 years, 12 long years, and he's finally back in the WWE. Maybe he can just make some appearances, too, after this whole thing where Brock is over. Like, don't just completely go away again. Make some appearances here and there. You know, who knows? Do something. He can do something with the WWE. I like to see him in WWE, maybe from a different perspective. Maybe to help get somebody over. That could work. Who exactly? I don't know. But maybe he could find somebody with untapped potential that can possibly, have a good run in the WWE that he can help out. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But Raw was okay. It wasn't too terrible. A lot of things I didn't care for, as usual, and as per usual. Raw just being 3 hours is just a drag. It's just hard to watch. But at least the Goldberg thing was watchable at the end. I could just him coming out was enough for me. They don't even have to have the match, because I don't care about the match. But it was fine. What did you guys think? Are you guys excited that Goldberg's back in the WWE? Are you excited for the match he's going to have with Brock Lesnar? I personally am not. But if you guys are, that's okay. Let me know what you guys thought of Raw down in the comment section below. Subscribe if you guys are new. And like the video if you enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit, because my SmackDown Live review will be out shortly after this one. So, thank you guys for watching. Peace.